The old lady cracked open 10 egg yolks from rooster eggs to prepare a super rice bowl. She picked up a kitchen knife and made a light cut. The chicken automatically separated into evenly sized pieces. Then with another slice, the onion instantly turned into perfect circles. When these premium ingredients came together and were paired with a bowl of $1 million rice, Toriko was drooling with anticipation. But there was one ingredient more precious than gold itself: the legendary century soup. When Granny Setsa lifted the pot lid, Toriko and Komatsu saw nothing, but the pot released waves of aroma. It turned out that century soup was so crystal clear that it looked completely transparent. What's even more ridiculous was that this $1 million soup was actually made from monkey bathwater. You just needed to soak monkeys in 20-degree water for 2.5 hours to get the best soup base. Toriko couldn't wait to take a sip. In an instant, he seemed to taste all the deliciousness in the world, the flavor of tens of thousands of premium ingredients coming together. But Komatsu, being a chef, noticed a problem. He felt the soup was missing one flavor. This shocked Granny Setsa completely. This was the first time anyone had questioned the soup, so Granny Setsa brought them to the real kitchen. They came before a giant pot 50 meters tall. Granny Setsa leaped up and reached the top of the pot. Toriko was shocked to discover that this massive pot was filled entirely with premium ingredients. Any single ingredient could be worth hundreds of millions. This pot of soup had been simmering for 2.5 years, but it was still only half finished. Granny Setsu, who had once tasted century soup, still couldn't replicate its true flavor. She hoped Toriko and Komatsu could help her fulfill this wish, but century soup naturally forms only once every 100 years. In the freezing Arctic, condensed from tens of thousands of ingredients frozen inside. Now a super rich person was offering a 10 billion reward, recruiting gourmet hunters to search for century soup. So to complete Granny Setsu's request, their team headed to the frozen land. Then the man removed his earring and dripped the liquid inside onto the vines. The vines quickly dehydrated and withered. Next, the man wrapped the vines tightly around himself, trying to squeeze out the world's last drop of century soup. He pulled hard, and the frozen ingredients compressed tightly together. Finally, he yanked with all his might, and the ice pillar shattered. The last drop of century soup slowly drifted down. Everyone stared at the century soup, mesmerized. Just as they were about to rush forward and fight for it, Teppei stopped them, because century soup would choose who it fell to. Everyone held their breath, quietly waiting for its decision. The next moment, century soup dropped straight into Komatsu's hands, because Komatsu was the only chef here. Only he had a chance of recreating century soup. Komatsu also solemnly swore that he would definitely recreate the authentic century soup, as if responding to Komatsu's determination. Century soup began glowing brilliantly. Without hesitation, Komatsu drank it down, but the next second, he collapsed to the ground. When everyone helped him up, they found that Komatsu had an extremely exaggerated expression on his face.